China has performed a remarkable geopolitical miracle because it has come from one of the weakest economies in the world to becoming the second largest economy in the world without having disrupted the global order. And this is an unusual feat of history. And the reason why it happened is that China decided to integrate itself with the rules-based global order that was a gift from the West to the world. And so it was, of course, very wise for the United States to invite China to join the WTO, because after joining WTO, China became the world's number one trading power. And as the world's number one trading power, China actually now has a greater vested interest in a rules-based global order than even the United States does. So for that reason, I'm optimistic about the future for China. But at the same time, it is also a fact that China has made some serious mistakes in recent years. It has alarmed Japan with its rise. It upset South Korea when it failed to react to the North Korean shelling of South Korean islands. And of course, some of its recent maneuvers in the South China Sea, as well as China's involvement in the non-passage of a joint communique at the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting in July 2012 in Phnom Penh. All these, I think, have led to some nervousness on the part of China's neighbors about China's rise, and I think it's important for China to reflect on them and to see what lessons can be learned from these mistakes, because I believe that it is still possible for China to continue to rise peacefully and continue to integrate itself with the global order. The big question everybody asks is, will China be like the United States of America? And of course, many Americans, when they ask the question, assume that the United States is itself a responsible stakeholder in the global order. But as I pointed out in a lecture, the Gordon Lecture in Harvard, I did say that the United States should reflect carefully on the unilateral actions it is taking, reflect carefully on the extraterritorial application of its domestic laws overseas, because if the United States keeps doing things like that, it is actually setting a bad example for China. And in my book, The Great Convergence, I begin by quoting from a speech, a very wise speech that Bill Clinton gave in 2003, where he said, if America assumes to be number one forever, America can do whatever it wants. But if America can conceive of the possibility where it is no longer number one, then America should become a country that supports multilateral rules and processes. And I believe if America can do that, I think China can emulate what America does. Then at the end of the day, we'll have a much more stable world order.